One of the most sought after investments in all of real estate really are rental properties, and for good reason. Rental properties can provide monthly income, and you're hoping for property appreciation as well. So as a property owner, when you rent a property out, that is exactly what you are looking for. But along with those comes these: ownership liabilities and responsibilities, legal issues, tenants, potential legal issues, tenants' expenses, and then I have a question mark by cash flow, which I'll explain. When you rent property, you are still the owner. Therefore, you have all of the liabilities. Now, we have insurance and things like that to cover that, but you have liabilities every day, inside and outside that house, and you have the responsibilities of making sure that you maintain the property, etc. Legal issues are always hanging in the balance. In fact, if you look today, watch TV on some of these courthouse shows, you're going to see most all of the cases involve landlord and tenants, right? Because either landlords didn't do the right thing, they didn't know the proper laws, or the tenants didn't do the right thing, they broke the lease, they moved out in the middle of the night, or they did something to the property they weren't supposed to do. There's always that potential there. And of course, when you're dealing with tenants, there's going to be issues with that. So even if you have property management in place, a lot of landlords will tell you they still feel like they are managing the property on a regular basis. The other thing that you have with rental property is the expenses, right? There's the common everyday known expenses through property taxes and things like that. But then, of course, there's those water heater needs to be replaced, or a tree branch fell through the roof, right? So there's always going to be expenses. Some are on a regular basis and known expenses, and other ones are going to be larger expenses that hopefully you have enough cash flow that you are putting money away for that future potential problem. Now, I have a question mark by cash flow because, I like to say it this way: all rental properties cash flow, all of them do. But there's either a plus sign or a minus sign in front of that, right? Either it has positive cash flow or negative cash flow, depending on the price you paid, how much you can charge in rent, and what your expenses are. So yes, owning rental property, great way to generate income and create wealth. That is the overall goal. No question about that. But I would say this: if you have rental properties, great, keep them in your portfolio, add notes to that, or convert some of your tenants into property owners. Why? Because of this. If you become a note owner versus a landlord, you will still get all of the monthly income because you're acting like the bank. You don't own the property, so you won't get any of that property appreciation. But there's always a trade-off. We don't get the property appreciation as a note owner. However, we also don't have any of the liabilities and responsibilities of property ownership. So there's a trade-off there. And sometimes properties appreciate, sometimes they don't. Talk to landlords who bought before the market crashed, for example, right? So the trade-off there is this: we still get the monthly income, but we don't own the property, therefore we don't have the appreciation, and therefore we also don't have ownership liabilities and responsibilities, and that's going to keep us out of the legal system, right? Assuming you drew up the note the right way, which we're going to show you in this program, you are acting as the bank. You don't have any responsibilities on that property, and you don't have tenants. They're not tenants, they're property owners. They then have all the liabilities and responsibilities, and they have all of the expenses as well. So as a note owner, we don't have any of those regular expenses that you would have as a landlord. So we will have positive cash flow, no question about it. So bottom line is, as a note owner, different than a landlord, we get all of the monthly cash flow without all of the hassle and potential liabilities of being a landlord. So here's something you can do, and we've done this, by the way. Think of this. Take a property that you own or are thinking of buying, or just make up a deal and say, if I own this property and I own it free and clear, I could rent it. What would my expenses be? What would my potential property appreciation be? Take out your taxes and compare that to selling the property on terms, which you'll be able to sell at the premium price in the market, by the way. Take a down payment and create a note, and you compare the numbers at the end of the day. What you're going to find is you will make a higher rate of return by just owning the note. And As an advanced strategy, you know what else you can do? You can sell any portion of your note at any time. So if you want a lump sum on a long-term note, you can sell that at any time and make even more money in the entire deal. That's an advanced strategy that we will cover in detail through this training program.